Hey there, sixth graders. In this video today, we are going to go through, talk about what it is that you're going to do when I'm not here for class, as well as a slide of notes. So let's just kind of start with that. The order is going to be one slide of notes. Then you are going to go to your lab tables and your lab groups and complete the density lab that we began in class yesterday. After that, when you're all done, you then will leave your groups and go back and work on your review guide. Sorry, brain freeze for a second. I was like, wait, what else is there? This, I'm sorry, your review guide, which is due Friday, okay? So let's start with that, okay? Let's pause the video and do two things. You're gonna pause the video, and you're gonna get your notes opened, okay, from Google Classroom, and you're gonna take out your planner, and in the Wednesday box, you're gonna write in that your science, your mineral review guide is due in class on Friday. So pause the video, do those two things now. Okay. All right, last slide of notes. Notice we have a brand new heading up here. If we go back to the last slide, your heading was mineral properties with density. We now have a new heading of other properties. So that's the first time in a couple of days. So usually subheadings are non-bullets, right? There's usually not a bullet point. We're talking about usually moving them all the way over to the left, right? Getting them over to the margin on the left. Scroll up, see if you did any special formatting with it when you did the other subheadings on this document. Like, did you do it in all capitals? Did you underline it? Did you bold it? Something. You might not have, but sometimes people do to kind of make them stand out. Just keep it consistent is what I'm referring to here, what I'm inferring, I guess I should say. All right, other properties. So we have our 7 major properties. You're going to need to know those 7 major properties, but there are some minerals that then have these other properties. Right? And these other kind of like special properties are a big deal because they really stand out and are different. Because these other properties are special and they stand out, they are incredibly helpful to identify that mineral because they're so unique. It's not one of those 7 major ones. In fact, oftentimes, if a mineral has one of these special properties, we don't even usually use much of the other 7 to test because it's just so unique. The other option is sometimes we use those other 7 properties and test them, and we get to a point where we can't really distinguish a certain mineral. We might think it's one thing or another type of mineral. And so there's one more test to do, and that's to see if it has this special property. And then if it does, it helps lead to identification. And if it is lacking that special property, then the geologists can then make the identification for a different mineral. All right, so what are some examples of these things? Well, first one is fluorescence, meaning that under a black light, the mineral can glow. So under a black light, the mineral can glow. So if you know what black lights are, I don't know if you were someone that likes to do haunted houses during Halloween, because black lights are often used there, where you walk into a dark room, it doesn't look like there's a light on, but then all of a sudden, like, all the white parts of your shirt and shoes and shoelaces and things, that starts to glow. That's fluorescence. And so some minerals have that. None of the minerals in our set, 1 through 10, none of them have that. Next one. Magnetism. Being magnetic. So, this is an easy one to test if you wanted to see. You literally would take a magnet, see if the mineral sticks to it. None of our minerals have this special property either. All right, third example, and for sure none of ours have this because that wouldn't be good. Radioactivity, meaning that they literally are giving off some radiation. you go back to our first unit, and we talked about layers of the Earth, and we talked about how it gets warmer as you get towards the center of the Earth. And we talked about, well, why? Why does it get hot towards the center of the Earth? And there were two reasons. One, when the Earth melted and then cooled, the crust cooled on the outside first, and it kind of trapped the heat in there. So that was one reason why it's hotter as you get to the center of the Earth. The other reason is new heat is created because of radioactive elements or radioactive minerals that are, over time, releasing this radiation in the form of heat. Right? And so that's creating new heat to keep the center of the Earth really hot. Again, we don't have any of these. Some that you might have heard of, though. Uranium is probably the most common one that you've heard of. We use uranium when we are developing uses for nuclear power and nuclear energy. So if we're looking at a nuclear power plant, we are using nuclear reactions to then be converted to electricity for cities. Well, that nuclear reaction takes place because of an unstable radioactive mineral, uranium. All right, last example here we actually do have, and that's reactivity. So not radioactivity, but reactivity, meaning that the mineral can react chemically to certain liquids. You have one mineral in there that does this. Can't not tell you yet. We'll tell you when we do our identification lab. We don't do this activity to see because of the following. So the acid test, like it says in parentheses there, is not as cool as it sounds. It literally is you're just putting a drop of vinegar on the surface of the mineral, and then if it has reactivity, you'll see it bubble slightly, and then that's it. So it only happens on one of ours. It's really difficult to see because it's not a strong reaction. It's just a couple of bubbles. And then thirdly, like if we do that, then the minerals really smell, right? Because now they all have been dropped with vinegar multiple times through all the class periods, throughout the years, all these things. So we just don't do it, especially because only one mineral would actually see something, and you might miss it because it's not a very big reaction. Okay, but an acid test is just that. Vinegar is an acid, so dropping a little bit of vinegar on the surface of the mineral, you can actually see it bubble and fizz a little bit, and that's a sign of reactivity, which would be a special property as well. All right. I can't forward the slide deck anymore because it's done. So you have 2 documents of notes that you're going to use for this test on Monday. First is, what is a mineral? Okay, and so that's going through the things that all minerals share that have in common. And then this document, which goes through all of the properties used that are different so that we can identify minerals from each other. Okay, so that leaves 2 things left for class today. You're going to go to your tables to work on the density lab. A couple of reminders before you go over. 1, make sure you do not start that lab until everyone is there. People start this video at different times. Some kids, it takes a while to get their earbuds untangled and put in to listen and stuff. So do not start it until everyone from your group is there. Secondly, remember that you're taking the minerals that are up here on my front table. You are not using minerals from the bag. Thirdly, remember to get the mass from the back of the room first. Get the mass from the back of the room first before you do displacement in the water so that you're not adding extra weight, extra mass to the minerals. If you go to grab a sample and it seems like it's really wet, go grab a paper towel, dry it off a little bit to get some of that off, okay? All right, now that lab shouldn't take too long because it's only 4 minerals. So, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe even less, maybe a little bit more. When you're done, you are then working on your review guide. So you will go up to the table, my front desk here again, and there'll be a pile of the review guides. Okay? Actually, let's check that. I'm going to put it, it would be over here. I'm going to put it over here by my projector, that desk over here. That's by where I put stuff when I'm projecting up on the screen. I'm just going to put the pile there. All right? The minerals will be on my front desk, review guide, over on the pile over there, or on the desk over there. For the review guide, I am very strict about this. You need to complete this on your own. It does not help you to get answers from someone else. Does it help you finish it? Yes. That's a Band-Aid. It's not going to stop the bleeding. You need to do this yourself so that you know the information. You are reviewing the information because you're taking the test, not your friend, right? So you need to know this stuff. So you do this on your own, not with each other. 90% of the answers are on the 2 documents of notes. Some of the other ones from some of the labs or from the videos or reading guides that we've done. Okay? Okay, lastly, question 19 and 20. I don't think many of you got to this part this week where we were using the book to read about mineral resources. So other examples how we use life and products and materials in everyday life. So number 19 and number 20, you're going to need the red book for. Okay, you'll need the red book for it, and it's in that mineral resource section. Okay, in the mineral resource section. In fact, let me pause this for a second. Let me go get a book to show you what it is. Okay. $134, $135. 134, 135, that is going to help you answer questions 19 and 20. 19 says, what is smelting? Number 20 says, what is an alloy? Those 2 answers you will find either on 134 or 135 in the red book. You guys have these books at home, so if you don't get to that question here in class, you can do it at home because you have the books at home. Okay. I might even be back before class ends here today. We'll see. I don't know. I'm in a meeting. I don't know how long the meeting's going to go, so I might be back before class ends. Otherwise, if I don't, I'll see you around because I'm here today. Just I'm in a meeting. All right. Get to work. Get things accomplished. I'll talk to you later. Bye.